last video, I was setting up the laser and there was a little oops, the laser wouldn't turn on. So I had to troubleshoot it to see what was going on. So I did a few things I wanted to show you just in case you came across this problem. So one thing they were saying was there's an emergency stop right here. If you push it down, it won't let the laser turn on. So you have to turn the knob so it could pop open. Some things that I did to make sure that it was, everything was tight and all the wiring was correct was I just opened it and I looked inside. In the back of the stop knob, there's a button where you could remove the stop knob. And I looked inside. If you could come this way, I'll show you. This is in the back of it. So all I did was I pushed down right here and it released this knob. And I made sure all the wiring here was tight. I tightened it with a screwdriver and then I installed it again. It clicked in fine. I made sure all the wiring on this side was screwed in together and there was no loose screws. Then I also went on this side and tried to figure out what was going on here. I actually sent a video to omtechlaser.com, their support team, to see what was going on, and they said that it might have been the fuse. So I checked the fuse. I looked at all the wiring in here first and everything seemed pretty secure. There were no loose screws that I've seen in other videos. So I was just checking for loose screws. So I went to the back side of the machine and I unplugged the machine. They said to check the fuse. So in the power cord here, it says 110 volt input. On the bottom of the power port, there's a little fuse here. I just used a screwdriver and I took the fuse out. And when you look inside, there's actually the fuse. And it's a really tiny little thing. And I was like, okay, let me go buy another fuse. But then I looked inside and there was an extra fuse. So there was a backup fuse. So I removed the backup fuse. Do that again. And I placed it in place of it. And then I turned the machine on again. Didn't work. Nothing was turning on. So I went to the hardware supply store and they said, you know what, most likely if both fuses are not working, it's probably not the fuse. The fuses apparently doesn't go bad very fast, very easily. So I went back and I put this little fuse back in again. And I plugged it in again, turned it on, and it didn't work. Then I had my cousin come with this handy dandy tool. I think it's called a multimeter or something, where it reads the current of the wire. So he was using it to measure all the inputs and outputs of all the wiring, and they seemed fine. And come to find out, when he's able to use this to measure the current around this main power cord, and it was a bad power cord. So we took the power cord from the water chiller over to the unit and it turned on perfectly fine. So we just got a different power cord and now everything turns on fine. So this is how it's supposed to work. Here is a water chiller and I turn it on, works perfectly fine. And then I come to the front here. And with everything in place, all I needed to do was make sure that the stop was not pushed down, and I put on both switches and they're both running. So now the Ruida controller turns on. This is for the laser switch. If I want to fire it, then I just turn it to the other side. So now if you take a look inside, now that everything's turned on, there's like this nice LED light on top. You can see the remote, the laser. And just this remote, it works so nicely. It glides back and forth. Yep. And even the Z-axis goes up and down. So there's the Y-axis, the X-axis, and the Z-axis, which helps the honeycomb bed go up and down. So things are working really, really nice now. And I even took a look inside, and I noticed in the back corner over here, there's something called the air assist. It used to be a separate unit, but now they actually have it inside the unit. So when you actually, the laser isn't on right now, so I'm not too worried about it. I don't want you guys to do this, but if you go like this, you could feel the air underneath, so the air assist is on. I'm going to learn more about that as we get this machine up and running, but I am just glad that the machine is turned on now. So there we go. So if you guys need, need to troubleshoot it or anything, one other thing to check is just the power cord. Make sure it's a good working power cord. All right, so that's me setting up the 60-watt Chinese laser. Thanks for watching, and I will be making more videos on how to get this bad boy up and running. Thank you.